So I have a bit of an impromptu video to film for you tonight. It's not one that I thought I would be filming, but my husband and I ran some errands earlier today. We were walking around because it was a beautiful, not quite fall day, but we're getting there. And we stopped at CVS, and lo and behold, they had the Wet n Wild Nightmare Before Christmas collection. So they had the display and they had almost everything. And then I did pick up a couple items from ULTA with same-day delivery to kind of round things out. So I have everything aside from the setting powder, which I have ordered from Amazon, but that's not going to come until the weekend. So I'm just going to proceed without it. And to be honest, because it has the embossing, I think I'd be a little heartbroken to use it anyway. So anyway, let's get into the actual collection. So like I said, I do have everything, and that includes everything that is in the PR kit. I didn't purchase the PR kit this time around, and to be honest, I was thinking of skipping the collection entirely, but it kind of presented itself to me, so I figured, why not? So I will have timestamps down below if you'd like to jump ahead to a particular item. I don't think I'm going to go through everything at the outset, just because, like I said, I have pretty much everything aside from one product. So you can just reference the timestamps to kind of see everything. But I thought I would start off with this bag. So this is one of the items that I did order from ULTA with same-day delivery. And it was a little bit expensive, but you can use coupons and that kind of thing on Wet n Wild items. And it has like a nice kind of faux sort of Saffiano leather kind of texture to it. And that is the one side, and then on the reverse we have Jack and Sally, and it has a handle right here. It's a little bit nicer than I thought it would be. It has the bat kind of zipper pulls like so, and then on the inside you do actually have a zippered compartment, which, to be honest, it looks like, okay, now that I moved the zipper, I think it's okay, but it looked like for a second that it was a little bit separated. So yeah, that is the case. I think this retails for $17 or so, but like I said, you can use codes. I did do a video last fall when the Melt collection launched. If you're a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan and you want to check that out. The good thing about that collection is that parts of it are still available, and they are significantly reduced. So if you were holding out or you just were not aware of it, that is still available. So I'm actually going to start off with one of these lip oils. The advantage to buying the PR kit is that you don't have to take everything out of the package. So part of my reluctance, I guess, in purchasing this, other than I just don't need any more makeup really. One, looking at the PR kit, I still have like the SpongeBob PR kit collection in the big box. I have, I think, pretty much all of the Snoopy collection that they did in the box that I brought out to show you. And this was the bag that came with the Snoopy collection, by the way. It had a clear front and then this kind of fabric-y reverse side. So yeah, I'd say the bag this time around is a little bit nicer, in case you were wondering. So like I said, I have purchased these kind of IP collections from Wet n Wild before, and I do also have some of the items from their permanent collection, which I think are really great. But at the same time, I think I have, I guess, kind of realistic expectations considering the price point and that kind of thing. So the first item up here is the color changing lip oil in the shade Too Faced. So that is the Mayor right there. So it says it's infused with pH activated ingredients and moisturizing cherry, avocado, and marula oils. This lip oil changes colors upon skin contact to create your lips' perfect custom hue with flattering sparkle, which of course means bright pink. Okay, so let's go in on this one. It is nice that we have a little bit of a printed design on the actual component, and big doe foot like so. It has a sweet kind of vanilla scent to it, I'd say. I'm just glad it's not peppermint, to be honest. So there you can see just on the bottom lip where I applied it. I'd say it's fairly subtle in terms of the color, but we'll just let that kind of hang out. And then I thought I would do the eyes next. So I was just reviewing the ingredients because it does have a bit of a kind of cooling sensation. So I think it has methyl nicotinate maybe. It does have capsicum, ginger. So I think it does have some of those plumping ingredients, even though it doesn't say that it is a plumping lip oil, but I think it does have some of those ingredients. So if you are sensitive to any of those, just be aware of that. It's not uncomfortable, but it's something I'm aware of. And this is made in Mexico. Okay, so let's go on to the eyes. So I pulled out, these are the ULTA Wake Up Call eye patches. I talked about their prior iteration of the Healthy Hydration eye patches, which I have kind of a lifetime supply of at this point. But because ULTA has reformulated a lot of their products, I wanted to give these a shot. So I am relieved to see that they do still have like a fabric-y texture to them. I don't think they're quite as like fabric-y as the other ones, but they're not like pure gel that's just gonna slip and slide all over the place. So that is a good thing for me anyway. So I have purchased a few things in the new ULTA line, and some items are the same, just kind of repackaged. So at some point I was thinking of doing a kind of ULTA beauty collection focused video. I'm just not sure exactly when that will be. So the other item I picked up from ULTA, because they didn't have it in store at CVS, were the 2-piece multi-stick set. And this has a, let's see, it says a velvety cream to powder formula and beautiful orchid and champagne shimmers for use all over the face. So the shade Peekaboo is a champagne gold shimmer, and the shade Good Boy is a lavender shimmer. I am not sure about this being truly universal given the shades. This one that is called Peekaboo is the, I think I said champagne shade, and then the one with 0 on it is the lilac. So I'll swatch these on the hand. I mean, on some skin tones, I think maybe you could use these on the cheek, but I think most people are going to be using them on the eyes. They are pretty colors. So I'm gonna let those hang out on the hand. I guess because we're just playing around here, we don't have to match. I'm gonna go in with the 0 shade on one eyelid. So normally I would apply an eye primer to start and then go in with eyeshadow. I'm not the biggest like cream liquid shadow person, so I'm trying to kind of try new things, I guess. So yeah, if you just apply it kind of in a light layer, it's not going to give you a lot of color impact. I think you can build it up a little bit more. So if you just wanted kind of some sheer sparkle, I did purchase from Spectrum brushes. They had a Nightmare Before collection as well. I think last year might have been the 30th anniversary. So there were quite a few Nightmare Before Christmas collections, and I mean, being realistic, it's an IP that I think is going to be kind of always popular. So as far as kind of branding and theming and that kind of thing, I think the ColourPop collection from a few years ago was really good. I really liked how they did that kind of, they had the kind of blacklight packaging that was really cool. So I thought that was really kind of interesting how they did that. They're not super expensive either. So I think I was saying I did purchase, this is difficult to open. That's one thing I really hate about drugstores, that it's just not easy. But yeah, Spectrum had the collection, and I'd say anything Spectrum, like I I recommend not purchasing it full price if you can help it, because they do have pretty good sales. So they had a brush set that finally was on a pretty good sale, I don't know, a week or two ago, but it's not here yet because they ship from the UK. All right, finally got the palette open with only one kind of minor injury. Okay, so that is what it looks like so. I'd say on the whole, like, it's not super impressive. Like, it's nice that we have the design on the front and everything. I should mention that they did name the shades, which is a huge win in my book. But there are certain shades that are not safe for the eye area or around the lips, they say. So I'll go through those really quickly. So from left to right, we have Fright, Creepin' Cute, Sew and Go, and that is a shade that they say not to use around the lips or the eyes. Skull is the white, and then we have Stitches, Full Moon, which is, I think, that glitter. You would think that would be a problem, but Scream, they say for face use only, not for use around the eyes, that purple. My Bugs, and then we have Shadow, again, that is not for use around the eyes or the lips. Dice Roll, not for use around the lips, that's the green. What's This is that kind of charcoal. Sandy Claws is for face use only, that red. Good Boy is the silver. Nightshade is for face use only, not for use around the eyes. Frog's Breath is the teal, that is not for use around the lips. And then finally, Nightmare is the black. So I think because this is a vegan and cruelty-free brand, I'm guessing for the most part that they are just using shades that are not FDA approved for placement in certain areas. So that's why they're calling this a face and eye palette. But you know, use at your own discretion. So it says, featuring an array of moody, haunting, delicate, and sparkling shades in a 16-pan palette, this hyper-pigmented collection features buttery soft mattes, shiny shimmers, gleaming satins, and self-adhering multi-dimensional glitters. It's a hauntingly everlasting romance. And this is made in China. So I think I'm just going to start off with kind of a neutral crease shade to start with. They did advertise that these are new formulas. I don't know kind of new since when. So kind of go in with an open mind. So I just want to kind of set down some base structure here. This matte neutral shade. And then I think I'm going to deepen things up with this shade down here. I'm not really paying attention to where you can place things. Like I said, just kind of use your own discretion, what you feel comfortable with. I think color-wise, this is a good selection. Like, obviously we have the white and the black for Jack, and I think they were going with a lot of shades from like Sally's Dress, and we have the green for Oogie Boogie. Yeah, some of these are a little bit more kind of generic. The one I was just using is called Nightshade, and the first one was called Fright. Okay. I really want to try, I think, this shade here. So this is a dry rougher brush, and I'm going to go into What's This? That kind of shade right there. So this is a dry brush. It's a rougher 28. That picked up quite a bit. I might just tap that on my hand just to kind of regulate a little bit. So yeah, pretty pigmented. So I did a full review of the Snoopy collection that I just showed you whenever that came out. Profusion is actually launching a Snoopy Halloween collection tomorrow as I'm filming this, so that should be live by the time you're watching. I might pick up some of it. I'll have to take a closer look. As fun as it is to film with these kind of IP collections, they all kind of, I guess, have my heart to different degrees, and so I kind of have to weigh, I guess, the money I'm spending and also just the fact that I'm going to have to like find a place to store them, especially these larger collections with a lot of kind of accessories and that kind of thing. So going into Sew and Go, that purple in the top row, this is one where they say not to use it on the eyes, but we're going ahead here. So, like I said, I have fun filming with these collections, but they're not necessarily the most popular on my channel, so I kind of have to weigh that as well. This is a little generic right now, I'll be honest. Let's try just to add a little bit more color. I'm gonna go in with that kind of magenta shade, which is called Scream. I'm gonna put that in the crease. Yeah, one criticism of this collection, like I said, I like the bag that they came out with, but I wish they had done more fun accessories. Like with the Snoopy collection, we had the little dog house as a sponge holder, which was really cute. The PR box was cute though. It was in the shape of a coffin. I think it was just made out of cardboard, but still. So it's looking a little muddy on camera. Just want to make sure that pink is really present, and then I'll probably clean up a little bit with concealer. And then I think just to kind of top that off, I want to try this one down in the corner, Good Boy. I think that's just kind of straight up glitter. And this white one, I think, is a little bit maybe more what I want. I mean, it says, what, self-adhering? I would probably still use a glitter glue with some of those chunkier ones. Wet n Wild does like their glitter. I'm gonna start off with that white shade. I just wanna see what that looks like kind of tapped onto the lid. It's a little chunky. So I'm gonna take my brush from earlier. I'm not applying any more product. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of blending. So just for fun, I'm gonna take the NYX glitter glue and apply that. I haven't seen a lot of people, I guess, talk about this or use this collection. I don't know if it's just newer, but it did seem like a lot of people were excited about the NYX Beetlejuice collection. So I don't know if it's just there hadn't been as many Beetlejuice collections, or obviously with the new movie coming out, which we do plan to see this weekend actually. And I know Sally Hansen came out with a Beetlejuice collection, so I picked up 2 of those shades while I was at CVS as well. Picking up that silver glitter. Okay, I think that helps with the texture. And we do have liner to do as well. So I guess my takeaway with this palette, if you really like the color story, maybe, but I don't know. It's a pretty kind of limited use case in my opinion. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing that you want to kind of pick up there. And I will come back to it probably for the lower lash line. But in the meantime, I do have the 3 liquid liners. So we have the green shimmer, which is like the Oogie Boogie shade. This is called Dare to Play. The 0 one, which is a white, is called Zero to Hero. I think this might be a white shimmer. And then we do have the Jack. I think this is a matte black, called Bone Daddy, which is always fun. So let's see how these swatch. Again, they do have some fun printing on them. You should be able to kind of figure out which is which without having to read too much. Okay, so these are Twist Off, and okay, one of these guys. Not my favorite style, to be honest. So the green is kind of a fun color. You can see, especially for like going out for Halloween or whatever, it might be fun to have a liner that color. I'm just gonna take some micellar water on a little Q-tip here, and just wanna clean up some of this in here, and then just blend a little bit. Okay, I think that's better. I wanted to see what it would look like if I put a little bit of the zero shade kind of in the inner corner, and ideally not get it everywhere. I looked on Instagram to see if there was any kind of sort of inspiration. Pictures that they posted. I'm gonna blend that, but I didn't see any. And if I haven't said already, liquid eyeliner is not kind of my product of choice, if you will. So I'm just trying to see how I might be able to use them. I don't know that that did much. Blend it out. Now for the scary part, I have the black liquid liner. So I think I'm going to need 2 hands and my big mirror. So I will say, if you are, I think, decently skilled, which I'm not, it is fairly easy to get a fine line, which is always good. This bit right here was my mistake, because I wasn't paying attention. When you do have glitter and everything on the lid, it does help to kind of distract from any mistakes. Yeah, so precision-wise, that's pretty good. One of my issues with liquid liner is that I can never seem to get like a fine enough line on hooded lids. Okay, I think I possibly spoke too soon on that side. Erin Parsons, who, she does have a YouTube channel, but she does more stuff on TikTok, I think. She had a really kind of fascinating video on how she does her signature look, which is a very heavy kind of black liquid liner, I think, or various types of liner, but a lot of it is that kind of more dramatic black liner. And a lot of how she achieves that is just by kind of adding and removing. And I think she starts out with powder and then moves on to, I don't know, pencil. And anyway, so it's very, very instructive. So I think you do probably want to try to remove as much of the excess product from the wand as you can before going in. And this might all be kind of common knowledge, but like I said, not a big liquid eyeliner person. All right. So to kind of sharpen that up a little bit, I think I'm actually going to take an angled brush, this really small one from BK Beauty, going into that black shadow in the palette. I think that helps. This is normally why I like to do wings with this little brush. Normally I apply gel pencil and not powder, but I think this is kind of pigmented enough going over the liquid so that it helps kind of sharpen things up. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna leave well enough alone as I tinker with something. Okay, so we do have a mascara in this collection. So this is the Doll Eyes tubing mascara. I thought it was really interesting that they chose to go with a tubing mascara I don't know if they have a tubing formula in their permanent line. So as I've said before, I'm very picky with mascaras because I have very straight lashes that don't like to hold a curl. So I'm going to start by curling my lashes. But normally I do go in with waterproof mascara, primarily for the effect, not so much the kind of waterproof aspects. But I know a lot of people do like, that's what the wand looks like, very, very small bristles to this one. I know a lot of people do like tubing formulas for their kind of, they're not waterproof per se, but they're kind of smudge resistant properties. I'm not getting a ton of volume. I would have thought with a product called Doll Eyes, I think there have been other products on the market that have kind of advertised themselves that way. I don't know if it was L'Oreal or Maybelline had one, but yeah, I would have thought they would have gone for something a little bit more kind of voluminous and clumpy almost. I almost feel like with the eye look and the liner, I almost need false lashes. I had the movie on earlier as I was making dinner, and she definitely has those very kind of doll looking huge lashes. So yeah, not wowed, I'll be honest. So I'll come back and do this on the lower lashes, but let's go ahead and I guess remove these. I think I might like the original ones better, unfortunately. So I do have some kind of glitter sparkle down here. I'm giving my micellar water a workout. So let's go into the next kind of scary product, and that is their primer. So I think what they were going for with this, this is the Sticky Serum Primer. So it made sense that they launched this kind of product because obviously it's green, has the kind of Oogie Boogie look to it. But it looks like this is meant to be a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, which I have a sample of. So I thought I might do the Wet n Wild product on one half and the Milk on the other. Of course, we also have the e.l.f. primer, which I put down here somewhere. I swear things start disappearing as soon as I sit down to film. But you know the one I'm talking about. It's interesting that the original Milk primer does have niacinamide, which is a product or ingredient that can irritate my skin, especially in larger quantities. So yeah, so the original Milk primer has niacinamide. I'm trying to do a comparison swatch here. This does have a nice pump to it. So that is the Wet n Wild closer to my pinky, and the Milk is closer to my ring finger. The Wet n Wild looks like it's a little bit more green. Let me scoop some of that up. Yeah, so it's interesting that I guess Wet n Wild is going for that characteristic of the original product. The first e.l.f. primer, I don't think has niacinamide. It has a weird smell to it. But they did launch that pink one, which has niacinamide. So yeah, interesting that they have gone that direction. So this is the Milk. I'd say it does feel slippier on the skin. It's not as thick, easier to kind of spread out. And they do specify in the Wet n Wild that it has 5% niacinamide, which again is kind of frightening. Let me, before everything just kind of starts falling off my hand. So those are the eye swatches, and it looks like they are still, granted, I've been messing with other things on my hand, but yeah, those didn't really set. The liners look like they set though, so that's good. So I washed off my hands. Dish soap is the quickest way to remove swatches, in case you ever wondered. And I did dampen a nice fresh beauty blender, which is always nice. So I thought I would apply a product that I have used a lot as far as foundation. So if you wanted to go back and look at other videos where I've worn it with other kind of skin prep, you can kind of do that. I do really like the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, but I haven't worn this as often, I don't think, or as frequently. So I'm pretty sure I've worn this in a video. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you can search, I guess, Tinted Hydrator, and hopefully it'll pop up. I'll put a card up if I find a video where I wore it. I know I did a video about the Wet n Wild concealer, which I have here, so I'll probably use that. But I wanted something that I felt merited a kind of foundation primer, and B, like I said, there would be enough kind of comparison footage if you were so inclined. Also wanted to keep it drugstore. So I'll just start by applying with my sponge. This is still going to be more of a light medium foundation, so it's not going to be like full coverage or anything, which is what I like about it. But yeah, just wanted to give you that disclaimer. So I think on top of both sides, it's sitting really nicely, actually. I don't see a difference, really. And so far, so good in terms of how my skin feels. Oh, here's the e.l.f. primer, by the way. It fell on the floor. Okay, so next up, I'm just gonna quickly put something in my brows. I have the e.l.f. Wow Brow in taupe, just to give them a little bit more fullness and color. And then to give them a little bit more hold, I've been liking the $1 Billion Brow Lift. This is not a drugstore product really, but I don't know that I have just a normal kind of brow gel. Actually, I did purchase the e.l.f. one, but I haven't tried it yet. The new kind of brow lamination gel or whatever from e.l.f. Doing a full face of e.l.f. is on my kind of very long list of things to do. But anyway. Okay, so that's it for the brows. Pretty easy. So for the concealer, so this is the Incognito concealer in the shade Fair. I think I did a video comparing this to the Kosas concealer a while ago, and it does still look good in the tube. Doesn't smell like anything. And I think the Kosas concealer that I compared it to, I have since had to throw out because it went bad. I just realized I didn't put a corrector underneath. Oh well. That is a step I normally take. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same shade. I think I had an eye cream that kind of dried weird. It's causing some texture. Yeah, really, really nice concealer at the drugstore. The e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer is also decent. So I think complexion-wise, we're looking really good. Okay, so I'm gonna hold off on setting. I don't feel like I need to right now. But let's see what happens once we apply some complexion products, or cheek products, I should say. Okay, so this is one item I was actually interested in, kind of objectively in the collection, and that is the dual-ended contour stick. So I thought it was really interesting that they chose to include this in the collection, although again, like the primer, it kind of makes sense, right? Because he's a skeleton, so very kind of bony. So the white highlighter side is called Bone, and the contour side is called Shadow. I am glad that they didn't give us just like a black, because that wouldn't have been, I guess, useful for most people, although I do recognize that there are some skin tones that do need a black or near it to be dark enough. So arguably this is a product that they should have had multiple shades in. This is, for me, again, looking a little warmer on camera. I try to kind of set the white balance and do all the things, but anyway. So the white side is kind of like a lipstick shape almost, and the contour is more of a dome. So it's interesting that they did that. Okay, so that is what that looks like. Again, for me, these colors should work, but again, depending on your skin tone, they may or may not. So I do have the NYX Wonder Stick that I thought I would quickly kind of swatch next to it. And this does come in multiple shades. So this has more of a contour, which is not too different. I'd say the NYX is maybe a touch rosier than the Wet n Wild. And then it does have that kind of more champagne shimmery highlighter. And then I also have the one from Catrice, if you are interested in this type of product. I feel like that is less emollient. It's also a little bit warmer. I'd say even rosier, like warm leaning. And then this is the highlighter. I do like the highlighter shade on that a little bit better. It's a little bit pinker, less kind of yellow gold. So there are some kind of drugstore contour options for you. But let's go in with Mr. Jack here. So I think I'll start off by applying, I want to see if I can just get a really precise, not at all straight, but let's see how that blends in. So I'd say it's not gonna be too scary, I don't think. And then on the contour side, so to blend that, I'm gonna take the BK109 first to kind of blend more of the whiter highlightery bits. I'd say there's definitely, like, you can see a little bit of the white. It doesn't have a pearl, so it's not going to have that kind of shimmery reflect. But if you want to do some contouring without, by contouring I mean kind of playing with light and shadow, without using shimmer as a reflect. So it's not the most emollient, and of course it was kind of sitting on my skin for a second. So not necessarily a bad thing in that it's not going to kind of blend away to nothing. Like, you can kind of, I think, still see that definition. Just something to be kind of aware of. And I don't think I blended this very well. So not bad, especially like at the drugstore. If you like the shades that they included, I don't think it would be a bad buy. Okay, so interestingly, they do have 3 liquid blushes, which isn't a product I've tried from them before. So these are lip and cheek colors. And we have Shock Value, which I think is more of a berry kind of color. On Lockdown, which is arguably the scariest. This is orange. And then, actually, this might be the purple color. This one might be more of the kind of rosy pink. So this one is called Barrel of Scares. So I will swatch all of them. I don't think I'm going to apply the orange. Okay, so that is on Lockdown. Very curious to see what these are like. Okay, so that's more of the rosy pink. And then we have the purple, darker one. So I think I'm gonna start with the pink one on my cheek. I think because I already have some on my hand, I'm gonna try and just pick it up with the brush. I don't think I'm really in the mood for any application issues at this point, so I'm just kind of taking my 109 and tapping it. Yeah, I think there's definitely some pigment there. So I would personally recommend kind of starting with some caution. If you do go overboard, you can always just take your foundation sponge or your brush, whatever you used, and go over it just with whatever is left on the brush, kind of underpainting a little bit. And even if I just wanted to kind of, I don't know, blend the edges a little bit, I can still go around it. So I think it's nice. I don't know that it's better than some of the other drugstore liquid blushes that have come onto the market now, like the e.l.f. ones, for example. I think these are all pretty intense pigmented colors, which can be a good or a bad thing. I'd say if you are my skin tone, I think the e.l.f. line has some more pale skin friendly options. I think ColourPop has some liquid blushes now, so there's some other options on the market. I'm just going to, I don't know if I'll be able to remove that. I have this other lip oil, which I think will probably do basically the same thing as the first one. The other one did feel like it kind of stayed on my lips a little bit. Let me swatch the purple one next to the green one. And I'll put the green one on the lips. Yeah, I don't think there's really gonna be kind of enough of a difference really once you have it applied, but maybe looking back at the footage I'll feel differently. So I'm just gonna let that hang out, and then we have 2 more products here, and I'll kind of give you my roundup. So actually let me put some shadow on the lower lash line real quick. So I'm just going in with Fright Never Set. I don't feel like I really need to, which is fortunate since I don't have the setting powder. They also market that as like a priming powder, which I thought was really interesting. It seems lately that applying powder before applying foundation has been kind of the new trending thing or whatever, for certain skin types, I should say. Going in with the tubing mascara again on the bottom. So I'm not sure if that's been kind of trending longer than I've been aware of it, or if they are kind of marketing it that way now, but like the actual package won't be that way. I don't know. Not a step I would take personally. So yeah, I just wanted to finish off the eye look. And again, that is what the lip oils look like on my hand now that they've kind of been there a minute. I'd say maybe the purple one is a tad pinker, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna remove that. And again, it does have that kind of tingling sensation. It's not like super painful. I don't know if it's something I would give to a child, if that was something you were considering, but I'm not really a kind of plumping lip product type person, and I don't find it, I guess it's a little bit distracting. I don't find it awful or super uncomfortable, but it's not something I really kind of seek out. And in fact, it's something I usually avoid if I can. Let's see how the purple looks on the lips. And it looks like on my hand, they have kind of set down, but they look like they're still a bit on the kind of liquidy side. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Going in with a light hand. They do feel pretty silicone-y. And of course, I don't have a lip liner or anything on. Pretty color though. So yeah, that's actually really pretty. I can see this working. I don't know how long wearing it's going to be. It's a little bit kind of like the Glossier G Suit lipsticks, or any of those kind of, you know, more moussey, silicone-y type formulas. I think if you kind of work it in, so it's a little bit more of a blurred effect, can be nice, and I would probably, it is getting on my teeth though. I would probably wear some kind of lip liner just for my own peace of mind. But yeah, not terrible. And again, with that color, I was a little worried of how it would look going on my cheek, but okay. All right, so last two products here. So I do have the Blushlighter palette, which I have a feeling is just going to have an interesting effect, let's say. So as you can see, the yellow side of this is definitely much more reflective. Probably use that as an eyeshadow, to be honest. So those are the 3 shades. Again, on me, I don't think that yellow is really going to be a great look, but I'll try to apply it kind of lightly for the sake of this video. So just picking up a tad on my brush. So with a very light hand, it's not terrible in terms of like a cast. I still don't think it is the best color for me, but that's fine. So with the actual blush, not that I need any more blush, but I think I'm just going to go in, see what it kind of looks like if I swirl these two together. It's kind of a pretty shade, actually. Kind of more of a berry, I would say. So let's see. Ooh, lots of pickup. Very 80s look we ended up with. Yeah, so it's pretty. I don't think it's ideal for me personally. Okay, the last product here, I'm actually gonna go wash my hands and then I'll apply some of this glitter body illuminator. Okay, so this is the Light the Way body illuminator. I kind of wish I had the one that ColourPop released with the Twilight collection for comparison, but I don't. It looks really pretty in the bottle though. All right, so let's start off just by applying a tad bit on the hand. Okay, so it's gonna be a very, very fine sparkle, kind of an opalescent effect. Does it smell like pumpkin? Am I making that up? It says, provides a glistening multi-dimensional radiance on the skin without feeling sticky or greasy. Infused with vitamin E, witch hazel water, apple fruit, and pumpkin seed extract for a conditioning and vitalizing glow. It says it has flavor or aroma. Let's see, just put... You can kind of see it. I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be more on the subtle side. I think you could probably wear it for like a night out that's not specifically Halloween without feeling too self-conscious if you just want a bit of a kind of glow, illuminance, that kind of thing. Obviously you can wear it for Halloween as well, but some things, some kind of glitter body products, it doesn't look like you could wear them in like a non kind of costumey setting. I think this one is pretty subtle. So especially if you're on the fair side, because it is more of that opalescence, I think it could be really pretty. Okay, let me wrap up here after almost an hour and a half filming and give you my final thoughts. I feel like most of that was just taking things out of packages. Okay, so the PR box, $85. So if you want the items that are in it, I think you might be able to get a price break going that way, but I'm not entirely sure. That was in stock at ULTA last I checked though, so you can use points or whatever coupons they have. And I don't have the powder yet. The makeup bag I think is nice. And of course this won't like expire or anything. So if you want a Nightmare Before Christmas makeup bag, that is, let me show you the kind of depth of it if I can. So it's not going to fit the most, but yeah, it's a pretty big, decent size. So I'd recommend checking that out if you're interested in it. The Sticky Serum Primer, I think is actually a good buy if you are interested in a product like this. I'm not sure if Wet n Wild sells something like this in their permanent line, but I feel like the products generally fall into one of two categories. It's either you're just buying it for the fun factor and it's more of kind of Halloween makeup, or they're products that you would incorporate into your kind of normal makeup routine that just happen to have Halloween characters on them. So I think this is in the latter category, in that it's a very functional kind of workhorse type product that just happens to have Oogie Boogie on it. So I think they did a good job with that one. The Body Illuminator I just spoke about. So again, it's really pretty. Will you use it every day? Probably not. But it's not so expensive. This is about $10. If you just wanted to have something on hand, you could even use this going into the holidays, New Year's, that kind of thing. If you wanted something like that for a night out. I think the contour is actually pretty good. So just be aware of kind of how long you let it sit on the skin before you start blending. But otherwise, if you are my skin tone or near it, I think this is a good product. They should have had additional shades, but oh well. The blush and lip color. So these are nice. Again, if you're just looking for a liquid blush, is this where I would go? Perhaps not. But if you like the colors, I think they definitely work. I'm generally kind of skeptical of products that claim to be both lip and cheek products, but again, if you do have a deeper complexion especially, I think these colors are nice and very kind of seasonal as well. The Blushlighter palette. So this is where we get into, I think this is almost more kind of collector Halloween makeup. Unless you have a deep complexion where that gold highlighter is something that you can wear a lot. The blush shades are pretty. I kind of mix them together. I think you could probably get a more narrow brush into each shade if you wanted to use them separately. So for me, again, if you are my complexion, I would not recommend this. The liquid eyeliners, I say skip the white shimmer. I think unless you're layering it over an opaque white highlighter, I'm not sure how much of an impact you'll actually get from it. The green is kind of a fun color, so if you like kind of colorful graphic liners, that might be nice. And if you like this style of liner generally, then I don't think this is the black one, but if you like this style of liner generally, and again, you just want a black liquid liner because it's what you use and you want a fun kind of seasonal version of it, I think they're good for that reason. And liquid eyeliners are something that you replace fairly often. The tubing mascara doesn't impress me, but I'm not impressed by a lot of tubing formulas generally. So again, mascaras are something you replace fairly often. So if you are kind of a diehard tubing mascara fan and you want a new kind of fun seasonal one, put poor Sally right side up. If you want a fun kind of seasonal one to try out, then by all means. The lip oils, these are not my type of product, both from the pH color adjusting side of things and also the kind of more plumping side of things. But if you like both of those things, then again, I think these would both fall into the category of you can probably get a lot of use out of them. The two-piece multi-stick set, again, I'll give you the caveat that I'm not really a huge kind of crayon type person. I think advertising these as multi-sticks is a bit misleading because I don't think for the vast majority of people these will be multi-purpose. I think they will just be kind of eye crayons. So I wasn't really impressed with those, but again, I'm kind of recognizing my bias in that these aren't the type of products that I generally go for anyway. And the last product, unfortunately, is the palette. So it looks really cute. So from a collector's perspective, if you just want to have it, then sure. I think there are some usable shades in this for sure. I don't think this would be good from either a, you know, just want a basic palette that you can use every day perspective, or a, I want really fun kind of going out looks. I'm not sure it really succeeds in that way either. And I'm not a big kind of pressed glitter fan generally, so again, unless you want to just kind of have this as a collector's piece, I would say skip the eyeshadow palette. If you just want something with this IP on it, I would either buy like the makeup bag or some of these other items, or I think the melt palettes are half off. So I think this is 10 and you can get a melt palette for 30, I believe now. So I have a video with the first palette that they launched. I then picked up the second palette on sale. But yeah, if you want more fun, colorful shades to play around with in this IP, you know, I would just recommend spending the extra 20 bucks if you can and get that. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this collection. Hope you guys found this helpful or interesting, at least, if you had no intention of picking anything up anyway. But yeah, hopefully this gave you some good information. So that's gonna do it. Let me know if there's anything you have your eye on. And until next time, I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.